If you have to put someone on a pedestal, put teachers. They are society's heroes. The duties of a teacher are neither few nor small, but they elevate the mind and give energy to the character. The best teachers are those who show you where to look, but don't tell you what to see. Better than 1,000 days of diligent study is one day with a great teacher. Your heart is slightly bigger than the average human heart, but that's because you're a teacher. Teachers can change lives with just the right mix of chalk and challenges. Teaching is the greatest act of optimism. One child, one teacher, one book, and one pen can change the world. Students, don't care how much you know until they know how much you care. It is not what is poured into a student that counts, but what is planted. Teachers have 3 loves: love of learning, love of learners, and the love of bringing the first 2 loves together. The art of teaching is the art of assisting discovery. Education doesn't just make us smarter, it makes us whole. Teaching kids to count is fine, but teaching them what counts is best. I am indebted to my father for living, but to my teacher for living well. A teacher affects eternity. He can never tell where his influence stops. I like a teacher who gives you something to take home to think about besides homework. I have learned silence from the talkative, toleration from the intolerant, and kindness from the unkind. Yet, strange, I am ungrateful to those teachers. A good teacher can inspire hope, ignite the imagination, and instill a love of learning. A teacher who is attempting to teach without inspiring the pupil with a desire to learn is hammering on cold iron. Good teachers know how to bring out the best in students. An investment in knowledge pays the best interest. Change is the end result of all true learning. Education is the passport to the future, for tomorrow belongs to those who prepare for it today. The roots of education are bitter, but the fruit is the more that you read, you'll know. The more that you learn, the more places you'll go. Live as if you were to die tomorrow. Learn as if you were to live forever. The learning process continues until the day you die. Education is not the filling of a pail, but the lighting of a fire. Develop a passion for learning. If you do, you will never cease to grow. Education is not preparation for life. Education is life itself. They know enough who know how to learn. Education is the ability to listen to almost anything without losing your temper or your self-confidence. They cannot stop me.
Good evening, everybody. Could you please confirm if I'm audible? Could you please put a yes in the chat if I'm audible?
Yes, sir.
All right, okay, thank you. We will just wait for a minute and we will start. Okay. All right, we will go ahead. Good evening once again. Thank you all for registering and attending this national level online faculty development program on outcome-based education and application of generative AI in teaching and research, which is organized by the Internal Quality Assurance Cell, the IQAC, and the OBE Committee of St. Mary's College Autonomous, Thrissur, in association with the Collegiate Education Department, Government of Kerala. Today, we would like to welcome Sri Sudhir K. IAS Director, Collegiate Education Kerala, Dr. Sunil John J., Additional Director, Directorate of Collegiate Education, Kerala, Dr. Sister Jacinda CC, Manager, St. Mary's College, Dr. Sister Beena TL, Principal, St. Mary's College, Autonomous, Thrissur, Dr. Mendes Jacob, Professor and Director, MCA, Marine College, Kuttakanam Autonomous, MD and CEO, IPSR Solutions Limited, who will be the resource person for one of the days. Dr. Sunil Job, Director, Educational Research and Development, Marine College, Kuttakanam Autonomous, Chief of Academics, IPSR Solutions Limited. He will be the resource person today. Dr. Suresh Nambudiri, Director, SPA Technologies, Pune, will be a resource person on one of the days. Dr. Thomas Verghese, Chair, Finance Program, J.R. Shaw School of Business, Northern Alberta, Institute of Technology, Canada, who will also be a resource person in the coming days. Dr. Kamal Shah, Principal, St. George College of Engineering and Management, SJCEM, Palkar, Maharashtra, who will also be a resource person. Dr. Sister Meena K. Chervatur, Vice Principal, Dr. Dali Dominic A., Vice Principal and IQAC Coordinator, Dr. Meera C.R., Controller of Examinations and OBE Committee Coordinator, Dr. Julie P. Lasser, Dean of Academics, Dr. Little Matthew Rimpan, IQAC Joint Coordinator, Dr. Dania Casey, IQAC Joint Coordinator. And we would like to welcome all the FDP resource persons, managers, directors, principals, vice principals, representatives from management, HODs, IQAC coordinators, and all faculty members. Now, about this FTP, this is a one-week FTP program with live sessions from the timing of 7 p.m. to 9 p.m. And we expect you to be there on all the days. Now, fee for the LMS access and processing of certificate is rupees 400. All the participants who have paid the processing fee will receive the LMS access, the video recording for all the days, and provision to download your FTP completion certificate. The procedure for receiving the certificate will be informed to you towards the end of the FTP. Now, if any of you are yet to make the payment, you can make the payment of rupees 400 to the account details that I've already shared in the chat. If you are unable to attend any of the live sessions, they will be available in the LMS. Now, we have shared the LMS access details through email to those who have shared the payment proof in WhatsApp till yesterday. Those who have shared the payment proof in WhatsApp today will receive the LMS access details later in the day or by tomorrow. If any of you have any problem in attending the WebEx online session, I can see a few of the people are saying there is voice not much audible. If you have any voice issue or anything, you can join using the YouTube live link, which I've shared in the chat. Now, my name is 𝐂𝐨𝐥𝐿. I'm working as Global Relations Manager with IPSR Solutions Limited, and I will be the event moderator. Now, coming on to the introductions about St. Mary's College Autonomous Thrissur. St. Mary's College Thrissur was founded in 1946 by the Congregation of Mother of Carmel, CMC, which was the first women's college in the district. Established to empower women through education, the college aimed to uplift women in Kerala during a time when opportunities for higher education were limited. In 2021, the college achieved A+ during the fourth cycle of accreditation by NAC. Today, the college boasts 14 department offerings, 15 undergraduate, 12 postgraduate, and 1 doctorate program. Now, the Collegiate Education Department, Government of Kerala. The Collegiate Education Department provides high-quality higher education to eligible students in Kerala, offering undergraduate and postgraduate courses in government and aided colleges. It also provides scholarships for economically disadvantaged students and overseas training, modern infrastructure, and introduction of new courses and colleges. Additionally, it supports research, career development, and offers hostels and quarters for students and teachers. Now, before we move on to the other sessions, if you all could turn on your videos for a few minutes, we would like to take screenshots for our documentation purpose. Yes, just turn on your videos for a few minutes. All right, I think we will proceed. Just keep your videos on for a few more minutes and then shut it off. Okay. Now we will come on to the next session. That will be the welcome speech. That will be Dr. Dali Dominic A, Vice Principal and IQAC Coordinator of St. Mary's College, Autonomous, Thrissur. Dr. Dali, with 25 years of teaching experience and serving as head of the department since 2006, has made significant contribution to both academia and environmental conservation. She was a principal coordinator for the 𝐂𝐶TSTE funded science popularization project, a home for tender wings, and currently leads the Dr. 𝐶.𝐷𝐿𝐴, could you please keep your audio off? There's an echo that is coming. Now, Dali Dominic was the principal coordinator for the 𝐂SCSTE funded science popularization program, a project, a home for tender wings, and currently leads the Butterfly Eco Park and Conservation Project at the State Museum and Zoo, Thrissur. Dr. Dali has developed and delivered MOOCs and on the SWAYAM platform supported by CEC and UGC, and has numerous national and international peer-reviewed journal publications. She has also been a sought-after resource person and presented at various conferences. As an author and editor of academic books, her dedication extends to social responsibility, reflected in her eco-fiction works on nature conservation, including The Smile and The Land Where Milk and Honey Flows. Over to you, ma'am.
A very good evening to one and all. Respected Chief Guest, Mr. Sudhir K. IAS, Director of Collegiate Education, Dr. Sunil John, Additional Director, Directorate of Collegiate Education, Resource Person, Dr. Mendes Jacob, Professor and Director, MCA, Marian College, Autonomous, Kuttikkanam, Dr. Sunil Job, Director, Educational Research and Development, Marian College, Kuttikkanam, Dr. Suresh Nambudiri, Director, Aspire Technologies, Dr. Thomas Varghese, Chair, Finance Program, Dr. Kamal Shah, Principal, St. John College of Engineering and Management, Dr. Sister Meena Kechervattur, Vice Principal, St. Mary's College, Thrissur, Sister Dr. Jacinta CC, Manager, St. Mary's College, Autonomous, Thrissur, Principal, Sister Dr. Beena TL, all the FDP resource persons, managers, directors, principals, vice principals, representatives from management, HODs, IQAC coordinators, and all the faculty members. As our nation navigates rapidly through evolving landscape of education, it becomes essential for us to understand how we can innovate and adapt our programs to meet the surfacing needs of our students and society. St. Mary's College, the first women's college in Malabar, with a legacy of 78 years of excellence in women education, is honored to host this event as a part of continuing commitment to academic excellence. It is a great honor that the Directorate of Collegiate Education, Government of Kerala, with a vision to impart accessible and affordable quality higher education that is competent and competitive, has collaborated to execute this event, the national level online FDP on outcome-based education and application of generative AI in teaching and research. Through this FDP, we will explore how we can implement these principles in our courses for redefining education. I feel greatly privileged to introduce the dignitaries of the day. Let me first and foremost welcome our chief guest of the day, Dr. Sunil John, Additional Director, a reputed sociologist, highly efficient academician, and multi-talented personality. He has imparted knowledge and skills to an array of intellectuals. We are very happy that he has consented to inaugurate the session amidst his busy schedule. We are grateful to you, sir. Hearty welcome to you on the behalf of all the participants. Dynamic manager and visionary, I am pleased to welcome Dr. Sister Jacinta CC to this event. Let me welcome Dr. Sister Bina TL, Principal, St. Mary's College, academician and mentor who plays a crucial role in fostering excellence, innovative educational environment, and who is a guiding force behind our educational endeavors. Hearty welcome, Sister. Dr. Mendes Jacob is a very popular person as far as the academic field and OBE is concerned. Academician and entrepreneur with more than 35 years of experience. He is part of the team which has trained more than 25,000 faculty members on outcome-based education on a national level. We are very glad to have you as our resource person of the day. I am pleased to welcome all the resource persons, Dr. Sunil Job, Dr. Suresh Nambudri, Dr. Kamal Shah, and all the other resource persons of the day. Acknowledging with gratitude all the support, let me welcome the organizing committee, Vice Principal, Sister Dr. Meena K. Chervatur, Dean of Academics, Dr. Julie P. Lasser, Controller of Examinations, Dr. Meera, IQAC Joint Coordinators, Dr. Litti and Danya Casey, and the OBE Committee and IQAC Committee, and all my dear colleagues to this FDP program. Hearty welcome to all the resource persons and the participants of this national FDP. The great support of the participants is highly commendable. We have more than 2,500 registrations from all over. We encourage you to engage actively with the content. We have an exciting lineup of sessions and speakers who will share their expertise, and we hope you will leave with practical strategies that you can implement in your own teaching practices. Once again, hearty welcome to one and all. Thank you.
Thank you very much for that wonderful welcome speech. Now we will move on to the presidential address by Dr. Sister Bina TL, MSc, PhD, who is the principal of St. Mary's College, Autonomous, Thrissur. Sister Bina, principal of Vimala College, Autonomous, Thrissur, is a distinguished education administrator. She has served as the Dean of Students' Welfare and Head of the Department of Malayalam. Renowned for her dynamic leadership, she received the Excellent Paper Award at an international conference in Thailand and the International Tagore Award. During her tenure at St. Mary's College, they won the Best College Award for Extension Activities and UGC granted autonomous status. Sister Bina holds a doctorate in Malayalam from Kannur University and has numerous research publications. She is also a regular writer and editor, contributing significantly to the academic literature and the film on St. Euphrasia. Over to you, Sister. Ma'am, let me just hold you there. You're on mute. You need to unmute.
Respected Dr. Sudhir K. IAS, Directorate of Collegiate Education, Thiruvananthapuram. Dr. Sunil John, Additional Director, Directorate of Collegiate Education, Thiruvananthapuram. Dr. Mendes Jacob, Professor, Director of MCA, Marian College, Kuttikanam, MD, CEO, IPSR Solution Limited. Dr. Sister Chrislin, Manager, Provincial Superior, CMC Nirmala Province, Thrissur. Dr. Dali Dominic, Vice Principal and IQAC Coordinator, St. Mary's College, Autonomous, Thrissur. Dr. Meera CR, Controller of the Examinations, OBE Committee Coordinator, St. Mary's College, Autonomous, Thrissur. Distinguished guests, esteemed faculty members, and dear participants, good evening to one and all. It is a great pleasure to welcome you to this faculty development program on outcome-based education and application of generative AI in teaching and research. Today, we gather to explore two critical components that will shape the future of education: OBE, a learner-centered approach, and generative AI, a transformative technology already enhancing our teaching learning process. As educators, we aim to improve student learning by focusing on outcomes. OBE helps us design a curriculum that meets the needs of students, society, and industry. By prioritizing outcomes over traditional methods, we boost student engagement and ensure graduates gain the skills needed to succeed in a complex world. Generative AI is transforming education by automating content, personalizing learning, and supporting innovative research. It can enhance teaching, marketing, making education more engaging and accessible. However, we must balance this with responsibility, ensuring ethical use and protecting academic integrity, always prioritizing our students' well-being and academic values. Together, OBE and AI integration open up immense possibilities for improving the quality of education and research. I encourage all of you to actively participate in the discussions and activities of this FDP and to explore how we can effectively integrate OBE and AI into our academic and research practices. Let us use this opportunity to learn, innovate, and drive positive change in our institutions. Thank you, and I wish you a productive and insightful program ahead.
Thank you, Dr. Sister Bina TL. Thank you for that wonderful presidential address. Now, we will move on to the inaugural address that will be delivered by Dr. Sunil John J, who is the Additional Director, Directorate of Collegiate Education, Tiruvandhuram. Now, Dr. Sunil John J has served as in various prestigious roles, including Deputy Director of the Directorate of Collegiate Education, Principal Special Grade at SNGS College, Patambi, and Principal at Government Colleges in Attingal and Manjeshwara. A UGC Postdoctoral Research Award recipient, he has also been a member of the Academic Council and BOS at the University of Kerala and several autonomous colleges, an esteemed member of the Indian Sociological Society and executive member of the Association of Third World Studies, South Asian Chapter. He has published widely in national and international journals and authored and edited numerous books. He holds an MPhil and PhD in sociology from Kerala University and has guided many PhD scholars. Over to you, sir.
Good afternoon, one and all. Respected Dr. Sister Bina TL, Principal and Presiding Officer of this session, Mr. 𝐂𝐨𝐥𝐿𝐴, the moderator, Dr. Dali Dominic, Vice Principal and IQAC Coordinator of St. Mary's College, Autonomous Thrissur, Dr. Mendes Jacob, Director and Professor of Indian College, Kuttikkanam, who is going to give an introduction to this FDP. Dr. C.R. Meera, Controller of Exams and OBE Coordinator in St. Mary's College, who is deliver vote of thanks. Dr. Sunil Job K.A., who is going to present the first technical sessions. Management committee members, dear teachers and friends. We are very happy and privileged to be associated with St. Mary's College, Thrissur for this 7 days FDP on outcome-based education and application of generative AI in teaching and research. We all know that our higher education sector is changing very fast. I am actually a 1997 product of Quality Education Department, and like you teachers, I have taught sociology in some colleges for the last 20 years, then administered the colleges for 7 years, and now I am in this administrative post. We all know that our earlier system of higher education was yearly system. We normally focused on content delivery. We bothered only on topics covered. And it was actually a teacher-centered program where the instructor delivered information and the students passively received it. Then it's all based on standardized texts and exams that measure only knowledge rather than practical skills. And it was generally fixed on fixed curriculum with less room for flexibility or adjustment. And we normally focused on memorization and information gathering rather than higher ways of learning. And the change was also very slow. The reform was also very slow. Then in 2010 period, we moved to choice-based credit and semester system, where the annual system was converted into a semester system. In 2016-17, we introduced OBE, outcome-based education, I think first in Kerala University in 2016 and the other universities in 70s. Even though we had so many trainings on OBEs, even very sad to say, when teachers know what is actually the difference between that OBE and how they deliver these kind of things there, and like students also. Then came the new economic policy of 2020. Then we all know that we now focused on a 4-year degree program. We are having 75 government colleges in Kerala, 194 aided colleges, and 540 self-financing colleges in Kerala. And all these colleges are actually managed by our Quality Education and Higher Education Department. And we are very keen on giving apt inputs for your teaching, learning things. If you educate your teachers, if you train your teachers only, then the effect will be there for your for our students. So that this OBE system normally based on, we all know that learning outcomes are clearly defined and measured. Then it centers on needs and aspirations of students, which encourage active participation and engagement in the learning process. And this OBE uses varied assessment methods aligned with learning outcomes. Then in OBE, we allows for adaptation of teaching methods and content based on student needs and content promoting personalized learning. Then it involves ongoing evaluation and feedback to improve both teaching and other things. Then assessment actually play a very important role in outcome-based education. Even then, we started OBE in many universities and colleges in I think 2016-17 period. Assessment was actually rather, we say that it was traditional. Once you do that assessment process, also based on this OBE only, then we will normally get what it was envisaged. So when you go for that assessment in OBE, then you normally align with your learning outcomes. So we look for purposes and types. Then we are having variety of assessment methods like projects, portfolios, peer assessment, presentations, standardized things and all. Then it focus on competitiveness, like thing is there. Then came the AI in teaching and research. We all know that how and why AI changed our educational system. Even then, AI has so many positives. We are having so many threats which are associated with AI also. Then AI normally focused on content generation. So we might have plagiarism, and students may have that reduced critical thinking. Then authenticity of work may be an issue. Then changing assessment methods may lead to so many issues. And of course, when machine will be the focus, then job security may be an issue. Then many think that it may devaluate our teaching, and then a digital divide may be other issue. Then educational dependency may be there. When you if you go for over reliance of technology, then you are having many over reliance of technology and reduced engagements. Then, of course, like many other technologies, we are having a bias in AI. It can perpetuate bias present in this training data, which can negatively affect the educational experience for things. Then, like when we had that Wikipedia and all, which came some 15 years ago, like that misinformation may be there. It can generate misleading or inaccurate information, posing a risk to students' understanding and knowledge acquisition. So, the role of a teacher is very, very important. We are all teachers, and we know the value of teacher. Technology may be there, but the role of teacher is very important. So we have to acquire new skills. We have to shift our role. We have to focus more on facilitating learning, mentorship, and critical analysis rather than only content delivery. We have to effectively participate in latest teaching requirements and ongoing professional degree things and all. So this kind of courses will help our teachers to be equipped with this latest technology. And when I go through this course, I know that in this 7 day course, the concept of OBE, design, mapping, and attainment of curriculum is there. Then we will have a training on innovative teaching and learning, assessment strategies, and research using generative AI, which we all know that which is one type of AI, which is mainly focused on educational sector. Then another interesting thing is you also go for case study and OBE implementation in a Canadian university. So this is the time to stop my lecture. So my duty is to inaugurate this 7 days, 1 week national level online faculty development program on outcome-based education and application of generative AI and teaching and research. Please join me in inaugurating this 7 days FDP. And I declare the 7-day national level online faculty development program on outcome-based education and application of generative AI in teaching and research is inaugurated. I wish all success. I extend all the support from College Education Department, and I hope the FDP outcomes presented in your brochure will be met when you successfully complete this program. And I thank the organizers for associating this important activity with our quality education department. And I wish all success to this program. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Dr. Sunil John J, for that inaugural address. Now we will move on to the next session, that is going to be the introduction of FDP. That is going to be delivered by Dr. Mendes Jacob, who's the MD and CEO, IPSR Solutions Limited. He's also the professor and director MCA, Marine College, Kuttaganam Autonomous. Now about Mendes sir, Dr. Mendes Jacob is an academician and entrepreneur with 35 plus years of experience and is a former director of School of Applicable Mathematics, MG University. He has served as a resource person for many national and international seminars, conferences, and a number of faculty development programs, including UGC-sponsored refresher courses. His areas of interest include national education policy, outcome-based education, accreditation, etc. He is associated with many education institutions as chairman, member of various academic bodies, and a mentor of many HEIs in implementing outcome-based education. He is also the CEO of IPSR Solutions Limited, an IT company supporting higher education institutions in the implementation of outcome-based education and innovative teaching, learning, and assessment strategies. He is also the part of the team which has trained more than 30,000 faculty members on outcome-based education pan-India. Over to you, sir.
Thank you, Sijin. Am I audible?
Yes, you are, sir.
Most respected Dr. Sunil John, the chief guest of today's function. Respected Reverend Sister Beena, the principal of St. Mary's College. All the dignitaries from Collegiate Education Department and St. Mary's College. Respected resource persons and all my dear faculty colleagues who have joined for this faculty development program. Once again, I welcome to this FDP of 7 days. We have more than 2,500 faculty members joined for this program from all over India and also from outside. That shows the enthusiasm of the faculty members to adapt the new changes and the challenges in the education sector. Also, that shows the relevance of outcome-based education. I'm here just to introduce how the FDP will progress day by day. So I will share you with the schedule, day by schedule, and give you some introduction about each day's activity. Then we have the learning management system. Because this FDP, we have only 2 hours live sections every day for 7 days. And we have a learning management system where most of the content is shared. Not only the contents, the recorded videos. We can say around 70% of the content will share through the learning management system, so that this can be considered as a 7-day full day program. And the LMS access will be provided for maybe more than 15 or around 20 days, so that you can in your own time you can just go through the contents, the videos, and even if you miss any sections, any live sections, the videos are available. You can go through the task and assignments there. So I'll just share you the details. Just 1 minute. So Sijit, my screen is visible now? Okay.
Yeah, it's visible.
Thank you. So this is the schedule. Like today we have the inauguration, and there is a section on learning domains by Dr. Sunil John. And tomorrow is the day 2. We have the section on architecture of OBE and design of outcomes. Many of the faculty members, they have some clarification required for how to design the outcomes in a proper way. Again by Dr. Sunil John. Then on day 3, that is on October 19th, Saturday, we have an interesting section on a case study of OBE implementation in a Canadian university by Dr. Thomas Verghese. He is one of the senior professors there in Alberta University. Then on Monday, we have an underlying threads of OBE and generative AI in teaching, how we can utilize generative AI in teaching and learning activities by Dr. Sunesh Nambudiri. Is a person from my industry. He's a former chief operating officer of Tata Motors, and he's now into education. And on day 5, we have a section on outcome-based academic research by Dr. Kamal Shah, followed by a mapping of outcomes. And again, day 6, we have the calculation of attainment, analytical reports. So these are some of the areas where the faculty members require some clarification, maybe how to map outcomes and how to calculate the attainment, and how we can utilize this OBE for accreditation. And there will be a section on AI-assisted assessment. Probably today itself, I will just explain how we can use generative AI for assessments. And the last day, we have again generative AI in research, because many of the faculty members here, I think you are doing research, you are publishing papers, and nowadays, with this Stanford 2% scientist list, more than 5,000 faculty members in India are there. So I hope even the junior faculty members now they can focus on those areas and the listings. Definitely, you can do a lot of research if you can integrate it with the generative AI. Again, Dr. Suresh Nambudiri will explain all these things on the last day, and followed by a small validatory function. So this is the schedule we'll have for the 7 days. This is how the FDP will progress. Then about the learning management system, I already mentioned about the learning management system. This will be provided to all the registered participants, or the paid participants. You will get access to the learning management system, and you can see a lot of content is available here. Sorry. We have the FDP schedule and doubt clearance forum. This is for a participatory learning. If you have any doubts in between, definitely you can post it in the doubt clearance forum. So the peer team members, the participants will be interacting there. There will be a research forum where you can, if you are using some AI tools, you can definitely upload it, post it there, so that your fellow participants will be utilizing that. Then every day we have the recorded video here, and there are some other contents activities available. For example, there is a lesson activity that is a feature of Moodle LMS, which you can consider for implementing OB. So that is again one of the features where you can use in your classrooms. Through lesson activity, we can implement assurance of learning. That is that should be there for when we implement outcome-based education. We will explain all these things now during the sections. There will be tasks every day, and there will be a standard operating procedure for every task. You can do it by yourself. Then every day, as I mentioned, there will be a recorded video, and some other contents are also available. Every day we have the activities. Some multiple choice questions are there. Then, okay. So in between, there will be some Padlets that also you can use for participatory learning. There will be Padlets where your fellow participants will be posting some, they will be framing some questions based on Bloom's taxonomy with an OB approach, and they'll be posting it there, so that you can, the other participants, you can go through those questions. You can also post course outcomes, then other assessment activities. Then we have some additional content available. There is a AI application. All the paid participants will be getting it complimentary access towards that questionpaper.ai. So the videos are available, how you can use it. Then some useful education tools. The videos are available. Reference materials. There are materials. When we implement outcome-based education, you should start with an OBE manual. There is a template for OBE manual, and many other a lot of contents are available, as I mentioned earlier. So then there are videos on ChatGPT. There are videos on prompt engineering, how you can use Generative AI for teaching and learning purposes. Okay. So that's about the content available in the learning management system. Definitely, you will get additional days. You can go through the content even after your FDP program. Maybe after October 24, another 10 days, it will be extended. Okay. Again, there is a questionnaire which will be shared today itself through the chat, and also it is available in the LMS. See, when we conduct sections mainly in the colleges or other universities, there are a lot of questions the faculty members ask. Because when we implement a new education policy for your UG program, there are a lot of clarifications required. So there is a questionnaire which will be posted today itself, so that you can just fill your email and name of institution. That's enough. These are the mandatory fields. And there are some questions how the admissions are provided when we implement 4-year program, whether directly into specific programs or majors or commonly into the institution. These are some questions, so that we will go through these questions and we will give you some clarifications. These are some areas where many faculty members request clarifications. They have a lot of doubts. So when we conduct offline sections in many universities, there are some questions the faculty used to ask. So this is for supporting you, helping you during the sections, the upcoming sessions. We will definitely answer the questions which we'll get from here. So please fill the questions if you have any. Okay. So that will be available in the chat box now itself. You can go through that Google form and you can fill it today itself, so that the upcoming sessions we will clarify all your doubts. Okay. Then about the AI platform that already I have mentioned, you will get a complimentary access of this AI platform. This is we have developed this platform to for the faculty members, and more than 10,000 faculty members, they are using it. Many universities, they are using it. Here you can use this for generating a question paper. I will just quickly go through some of the features, and the LMS, all these are available. The videos are available here also. The tutorial videos are available. Suppose if you want to generate a question paper, there are some templates available, ready-made templates. Otherwise, you can create your own template. All these are available through. You can go through the videos and you will get an idea about it. Suppose I'm using this first template. This is the preview of this template. We have multiple choice questions, short essay questions, and long essay questions. If you want to create a question paper by using this template, just give the name of that exam template already chosen. If your institution is a college or school, you can choose it there. Institution name, you can put it, your program. Then the course code, the course name. Then the taxonomy levels, you can see already understanding and applying is there. If you want analyzing that, so you can mention there. Medium difficulty level questions, or if you want challenging questions, that also you can add. Now you can upload the syllabus. It is available, say, in PDF format. Your syllabus, you can upload it. Otherwise, if it is in the Word format, you can copy and paste it here. Or even if you put the topic there, or if you put the name of your the prescribed test, that's enough. So this platform will generate a question paper for you, maybe in 1 or 2 minutes. And again, you can edit that question. If you are not satisfied with that question, you can ask for more questions. Now the question paper is ready. You can see the multiple choice questions along with the taxonomy levels. Answer key is also available. Then we have the short answer questions here. The answer key again. We have the long essay questions. It's available. Okay. So if you want to delete any of the questions, you can delete it and you can ask for more questions. Or if you want to rephrase this rephrase this question, because the same topic you can just click here so that you will get a different question, maybe the different taxonomy level. We can see the questionnaire is rephrased. And again, if you want a detailed answer for your reference, it is available. Just click that answer key, regenerate that answer key, you will get a detailed answer key. You can see it now. Okay. A lot of features are available regarding the question paper. I am not going further because my time is limited. Now, if you want, you can have the preview of that question paper. You can see that preview like this. Without the answer key, it's available now, so that you can take the printout. This is a PDF format. You can take the printout, or you can download it and take a printout, and you can use it for your exam purpose. Many universities, the university campus, they are using it. So this is one application of this platform. Otherwise, if you want to generate course outcomes, because that is another pain point of many of the faculty members, how to generate the course out, how to design the course outcomes. Here also it's very easy. If you have the syllabus, you can give the course code, course name, and the program name. The mapping scale, it's a 4-point scale. Otherwise, you can change it. Okay. Now, how many course outcomes you need? If you want 5, you can put in there 5. Based on unit or module wise, or based on overall syllabus, that we will explain during the coming sessions. The same way, you can upload the syllabus, and you will get the course outcomes. You're asking for 5 course outcomes, you will get 3 options now. For each course outcome, you will get 3 options. Sorry. Now you can see draft 1, we have CO1, CO2, CO3, CO4, and CO5. Then draft 2, again CO1, CO2, up to CO5. Draft 3, CO1, CO2, again up to CO5. So you can choose CO1. For example, there are 3 options. Suppose I'm choosing CO1 from draft 3, CO2 and CO3 from draft 2, then CO4 and CO5 from draft 1. So you will get 3 options. Out of 3, you can choose 1. You can save it, and you can update. Now you have the COs, 5 COs. You can update it. And again, if you want some assessment activities, some innovative assessment activities mapped with these COs, which we have already generated, you can select that COs. These are the COs we have generated now. There are 5 course outcomes. Difficulty level, you can see easy, medium, or challenging, you can choose. Now, the application will generate assessment activities. These are some unique assessment activities, because we may be thinking in the same lines, every year we may be providing them with some assignments. You will get a different type of assignments now. See, this is the first one mapped with the course outcome number 1. Second, again, another assignment connected with the course outcome 1. So 3 options for mapped with the CO1, then the other 3 with the CO2, etc. Okay. So we have generated up to CO3 now. You can generate more with the remaining COs. Suppose if you want a detailed idea about this assessment activity, just regenerate that assessment activity so that you will get how it can be executed, what are the objectives, resources needed, timeline, execution steps, example questions or rubrics for that evaluation. All these are available. We are also working on the next step, that is, if the students suppose they submit the assignments, there will be automatic grading of the assignment, and will be mapped with the course outcomes. So that we are working on it. Maybe in next 1 or 2 months we'll be releasing that also. So this will actually help the faculty members. See, when we implement outcome-based education, there is a feeling that our workload will increase. So we can definitely use some AI platforms so that we can reduce our workload, and at the same time we can focus on more on the some other creative activities, identifying innovative teaching learning activities, and again implementing OB in a proper way. So we can go for authentic assessments or some other areas that also will be discussed in the coming sessions. So that's about this platform. Definitely all those faculty members who have registered for that LMS access, you will get it in your mail, the access of this AI platform. Okay, so that's about this FDP. As I mentioned earlier, this is a 7-day program. We have there are a lot of contents available in the learning management system other than the live sessions. So we have more than around, I think, more than 2,500 faculty members now. We have 2,566 faculty members registered for this program. Some of them are attending online through YouTube Live, and some of them are attending through the recorded sections. Okay, so all these will be informed you later. Up to which date the LMS will be available. All these things will be informed you. Definitely, you will get it. After the the end date. That means up to 24, you have the live sessions. You will get another 10 days more, definitely. So that's about this program. All the best for all the participants, and thank you for associating with us for conducting this program. Once again, thank you and all the best.
Thank you, Mentor sir. Thank you for that introduction of the FDP. Now, we are moving on to the vote of thanks. Before that, there is also the form for OBE and NEP, the discussion topics that Google Form, which Mentor sir has showed. Please, all of you, make sure that you fill that up as well so that the topics can be discussed in the coming sessions. All right. Now the next session is going to be the vote of thanks. Please note that after the vote of thanks, we do have a technical session today, and the technical session is going to be on learning domains. That is going to be delivered by Dr. 𝐂𝐨𝐿𝐽. Okay, so we will move on to the vote of thanks that is going to be delivered by Dr. C.R. Meera, who is the Control of Examinations and OBE Committee Coordinator. She holds a PhD in microbiology from Mahatma Gandhi University, Kottayam, and has 15 years of teaching and research experience from 2010 to 2023. She served as head of the microbiology department at St. Mary's College, Thrissur, and has been the NIRF coordinator since 2019. She received the Best Faculty Award for Excellence in Teaching 2019 to 2020 and has earned multiple awards for paper and poster presentation at national and international conferences. She has numerous research publications and book chapters, coordinated UGC projects and seminars, and contributed to NPTEL courses, course translations, and an international project on mushroom science funded by the Government of Australia. Over to you, ma'am.
Thank you, sir. Respected Chief Guest, Mr. Sudhir K. IAS, Director of Collegiate Education, Dr. Sunil John, Additional Director of DCE, Dr. Sister Jacinda CC, Manager, Dr. Sister Bina TL, Principal, Dr. Sister Meena K. Cheruvattur, Dr. Dali Dominic, Vice Principals of St. Mary's College, Dr. Mendes Jacob, CEO of IPSR Solutions, Dr. Sunil Job, Dr. Suresh Nambudri, Dr. Thomas Varghese, Dr. Kamal Shah, IQAC and OBE committee members, FDP resource persons, managers, directors, principals, vice principals, representatives from management, HODs, IQAC coordinators, and my dear faculty member. A very good evening to one and all. It's my privilege to propose the vote of thanks for today's inaugural ceremony of the national level online faculty development program on outcome-based education and the application of generative AI in teaching and research. First and foremost, I would like to extend my sincere gratitude to Dr. Sunil John J., Additional Director, Directorate of Collegiate Education, Thiruvananthapuram, for gracing this occasion with his insightful inaugural address and for motivating us with his valuable perspectives on the future of education. Thank you, sir. We sincerely thank Dr. Sister Bina TL, our principal, for her inspiring presidential address, emphasizing the importance of OBE in preparing students for today's challenging world. Your thoughts on the impact of generative AI in education, along with the need for ethical responsibility, truly resonated with us. We are grateful for your continued support in organizing this event and assure you that we are committed to this journey towards excellence. We sincerely thank Dr. Sister Meena K. Chervatur, Vice Principal, and Dr. Dali Dominic, Vice Principal and IQAC Coordinator of St. Mary's College, for their commitment to academic excellence, which continues to guide us forward. I also express my gratitude to Dr. Mendes Jacob, Professor and Director of Marian College and CEO of IPSR Solutions, for his comprehensive introduction to this faculty development program, which promises to be a transformative learning experience for all. I also thank our event moderator, Mr. 𝐿𝐴𝐺𝐥𝐢𝐧𝐿, for smoothly conducting the proceedings. Our sincere thanks to the Directorate of Collegiate Education, Government of Kerala, for supporting this FDP. I also thank the IQAC and OBE Committee of St. Mary's College for organizing this impactful FDP. I thank all the organizing committee members and resource persons of this program. With around more than 2,500 participants from all over the nation, I extend a sincere thank you to all the faculty members and participants for joining us today. Your enthusiasm will undoubtedly make this program a success. Thank you all once again. Wish you all a week of insightful learning and meaningful engagement. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Dr. Sia Mira, for the word of thanks. Now we will move on to the last session for today. That is going to be the technical session, which will be on learning domains. This is going to be delivered by Dr. 𝐶𝐚𝐺𝐿 𝐾𝐴, who's the Chief of Academic Solutions at IPSR, and he's also Director of Educational Research and Development, Marine College, Kuttakanam Autonomous. Now, Dr. 𝐶𝐚𝐺𝐿 has 30+ years of experience in teaching and 10+ years in corporate consultancy. He holds a PhD in mathematical education and has been an associate professor at MG University College of Teacher Education from 1999. He has started his career as assistant professor at Carmel Rani Training College, Kollam. He has served as visiting team member of NCTE for grant of recognition and a resource person for the Affiliation Renewal Committee of MG University. He's an active blogger in cutting-edge technologies and IT, education and data science. Dr. Job has published many articles in national journals and authored many academic books and a reference manual in mathematics. He has served as a resource person for a number of faculty development programs in outcome-based education, data science, e-learning, etc. Currently, he is serving as the Associate Professor and Director, Educational Research and Development, Marine College, Kuttakanam Autonomous, and Chief of Academics, IPSR Solutions Limited. Over to you, sir. Dr. Sulit, sir, have you started to speak? I think you're not audible.
How is it now?
Yeah.
Can you hear me?
Yes, now audible, and we can see you. Yes.
Oh, okay, so you can see me as well as is audible. Okay.
Yes.
So thank you, Sijin, for the wonderful words that you have for of my introductions. So first of all, let me thank the organizing committee for giving me opportunity to be here and to interact with you for this today as well as the upcoming day. And now we have already past 8 o'clock, and probably we will try to keep our discussions by conclude our discussions by 9. So I think we had a very beautiful introduction section, which has really set the stage, and Dr. Mendes has very comprehensively explained about what is going to happen in the 1 week to come. In most of our these sections on OBE, we often start with this Bloom's taxonomy, because actually we know that this is something, the soul of outcome-based education. Without soul, that outcome-based education may not have life. So the concepts that you're going to hear, I'm sure that most of you are much familiar with this Bloom's taxonomy and these the domains of knowledge. But even if you are familiar with this, let it be a revisit, because that is very important when we perceive it from the lines of outcome-based education. Actually, when you're planning about outcome-based education, it will happen in 3 phases. First, obviously, we have to prepare a curriculum or formulate a curriculum in the lines of outcome-based education. So in this process, the Bloom's taxonomy will give you an idea about what should happen in the students. It will be a guiding light. So it will be a pivotal component for formulation of this curriculum. And when you go to the second phase of outcome-based education, that is the interactive phase, where you are going to interact with the students in the lines of outcome-based education. So to have a clear interactions there also, this will be leading you successfully for customizing the activities in the lines of outcome. And obviously the third phase in the outcome phase education will be to assess the students whether this predetermined outcome is met. So for that, we have to formulate some indicators where it should be also be in the lines of this Bloom's taxonomy. So in order to set the clear-cut indicators, there also you should have a knowledge on this Bloom's taxonomy. So that is why in most of the sections, we begin our journey with outcome-based education. And obviously, in this 7-day sections, there are wonderful sessions to come. We will be capitalizing on this outcome-based education and how we can make this outcome-based education into a successful journey in institutions. And the mileage that outcome-based education will take when we integrate the possibilities of these AI tools into the outcome-based education, how it will facilitate the journey of outcome-based education and easy your work in these directions. And also we have a wonderful section where we are going to share the Canadian experiences. That is something very important, because we know that in the Western countries, they have gone much ahead of outcome-based education, and this approach to the education is being adopted from their own. So if you are having some insights about the case studies of outcome-based education, what is going to happen, that is really insightful for us to streamline our activities in the lines of outcome-based education. So without much of an introduction, I think I'll be going into the technical section today, which is going to be the first technical section where we will be revisiting. I would like to put it in that way. I'm sure that you will be, you have a thorough knowledge of Bloom's taxonomy. So we'll be revisiting the Bloom's taxonomy in this section, where we'll be going to identify what exactly Bloom's taxonomy stands for and how we can introduce the concepts of Bloom's taxonomy into the teaching learning process. All these things we'll be going to identify in this section. So I have a few slides to share with you. So let me first share the screen. I think let me keep my video close, because because we have some connectivity issues that sometimes happen. So I think in order to fix the issues of bandwidth, let me keep my video close. So then, how is it? Can you see my screen?
Yes, visible.
Okay. Okay, so here we go with the our formal sections. As announced, the first section will be on learning domains, and we'll be revisiting the Bloom's taxonomy. Actually, you just take that word Bloom and taxonomy. It itself is evident that this taxonomical classification was being put forward by Benjamin Bloom, and taxonomy in the sense means it is a classification. Actually, Benjamin Bloom has tried to classify the learning process, which will happen from simple to complex, or from direct things to abstractions. So obviously we know that learning is something which will happen in a roadmap where we progress from the simple and direct things to abstract and complex domains. So this roadmap of learning between these two entities is been classified into different levels. The different levels in the sense that on the basis of the cognitive challenge this level bring into the learner, or on the basis of the complexities that this learning experiences pose on the learner, this Bloom has classified it into different levels. And Bloom's taxonomy is all about exploring what the students will experience at these levels. And the other thing is that I told that it is a journey from simple to complex, or from direct to simple to complex, as well as from direct to abstract. So this journey is a continuum. One will be progressing as a prerequisite for the other. So obviously, when we have a clarity regarding that, definitely it will easy our the process of outcome-based education and brings value and meaning to the process of outcome-based education. And obviously, what we are discussing and reflecting on is nothing but about the process of learning. And we know that what learning is something which has been happening in the individual behavior patterns. So I have just tried to bring down one simple statement regarding what is learning. And obviously, you can read it from the slide. That is, learning obviously is a process. When we say that it is a process, it should bring out some product through this process. And the product that we get from the process of learning is that the individual that has brings about some change, the change in individual, or the individual with some modified behavioral pattern. That is the end of this process of learning. So here we can just think of the scenario where the learning is a process that brings about change. So wherever there is a learning, there will be a change which has happened in the way in which he think, or it can be a change in the way in which he feel or set attitude, or it can be a change in the way in which he perform some task or practical activities which are related to life, some change. So wherever there is a learning, there is a change which is accompanied by within the learner. Now we can take the scenario into a classroom. Suppose if I am going to take a class of 1 hour on a topic. Definitely, before starting the class, all the students of these classes will be having some initial level of behavior. And my 1 hour or so of interaction with the students. And after the end of the class, what normally happens is that the students' level of behavior would have gone little higher. Sometimes he would have got some new informations. He would have changed some perspectives, or he would have developed some attitude, or he would have brought some changes in his value system. So some change would have brought about in the student after about 1 hour of interaction. So that is our purpose. If the students are still there at the initial level, then definitely the time that you spend with them is a waste. So obviously every classes, the students will be elevated or enhanced to a higher level in any of these ways. So the difference that you have brought about in the student is nothing but the product. Learning is a process, the product of your learning process, the product of your learning process. And when we conceive it in an outcome-based scenario, you will be taking the end into the first. That is the product of what change that you have brought about in the students that you are initializing first. The end will be taken into the first place, and you will be working out. Working out means you will be interacting with the students in such a way that by the end of the class, on completion of the class, the end that you have conceived first is met. And this is nothing but outcome-based education. So in an outcome-based education, outcome is the hero. So you have to identify what change is that you will try to bring about in the students before starting the class. And after your interactions, the students, you have to ensure that the student have attained that particular, the incremental change that you proposed at the initial phase by the end of the class. That is how outcome is education. And if you take the scenario to a course level, you are given a course to teach. So when the first day when you go to the classes, definitely the students are expected to be at some initial level with respect to the area that you are going to teach or handle. And by the end of the course, probably it can happen about 4 or 5 months. The students will not be at the same level as the first day you went into the class. They will be enhanced to a higher level. So what is the change that you have brought about in the students through your course? The course in the sense, the paper that is given to you to handle for about 4 or 5 months. So what is the change that you have brought about in the students? So this change you have to identify first. So the end of the course, what is going to happen to the students will be identified first. And throughout the 4 or 5 months classes, what you are doing is that you are streamlining, or rather constructively aligning all your activities such that by the end of the class, this whatever you have proposed at the initial stage as outcome is met. So taking the end to the first point and actualizing it while you complete that particular course. So that is the course. So the course outcome is the change that you were expecting from the students after completing of the program, that is identified as the initial stage. So what is the advantage about that? So this outcome-based education is a process whereby we try to eliminate all the unwanted or the wasteful effort that you perform into the classroom activities. You want the entire students to streamline and attain the target of that particular outcome. So that is what outcome-based education focuses. It brings clarity. It eliminates unwanted interactions, and it will bring productivity to the students. So now let us go a little more higher level. We were talking about one single paper. Suppose if the students are enrolled for a program, for instance, BCom or BE or whatever it may be. The same thing, initially when they come from this 12th grade, they will be having some initial level of behavior. And after completing about 4 years, if it is the integrated program, or after completing about the 3 years, if they don't want honors, the students will be enhanced to some higher level. So they will be enhanced in terms of what? Their domain knowledge may increase, the ability to solve the problems may increase, their entrepreneurship ability may increase. Likewise, a number of things will be enhanced. In short, if it is a professional program, they'll be entering into the program as a student, and they'll be leaving out of your institution as a professional. So what is the incremental change you expect from the professional is identified at the initial stage as program, and all your program activities will be streamlined or constructively aligned so that this outcome is met. And actually, this is the essence of outcome-based education. I've just taken this sentence only. Learning is a process that brings about the change. So the change, what is intended, is identified first as the outcome, and by the process, you have to ensure that outcome is. This is about outcome-based education. Tomorrow also I'll be there with you. So there we'll be drilling deeper into the different components of outcome-based education. Obviously, you'll be knowing, but still, clarity. Revisiting always brings more clarity and openness into what we are doing. So you can just read. Learning is a process that brings about desirable behavioral changes. So these changes are not accidental. Their changes are deliberate. So in outcome-based education, what should be the change is deliberately planned. That is, the desirable changes are deliberately planned, and we were trying to actualize it. So the expected goals of a curriculum in terms of demonstrated behavioral change, and these changes will be expressed in terms of what the students are capable of doing. So that particular change, what we're expecting in the students, will be presented in the form of what the students are capable of doing. That is what is going to happen in these outcome-based education. And our topic for discussion for today is Bloom's taxonomy. So let me take this change once again. We know that learning, wherever there is a learning, there is a change. And if you take the change and further fragment it, the change can happen in the way in which you think. Intellectually, the change can happen in the intellectual level, in the way in which you think. The change can happen in your attitude, your value system. That is the way in which you feel, you set attitude. And the change can happen in the way in which you perform some skills, which is ruled by the this muscular activities, isn't it? Some skills which has been ruled by muscular activities means that skills which get into perfection through your constant practice, like driving or something like that, motor skills. So these are the three areas of change. And what Bloom's taxonomy is all about is that the change which is happening in the intellectual domain will progress from simple to complex. Likewise, in the emotional domain also will progress in that way. And in the third domain, which the activities which has been governed by muscular, the motor skills, the better word is motor skills. The activities which has been governed by the motor skills also will be progressing in an hierarchy. And what Benjamin Bloom has brought about is that he has classified it into the level of complexity. That is what Bloom's taxonomy is all about. So I would like to say that through education or through learning process, we are trying to trigger out the changes in 3H. I will say 3H. So the first H is for head. Head in the sense, the intellectual activities which has been happening in the head. The second H is the change which has been happening in your attitude, feelings. That is something related to emotions, feelings. That is heart. And the third H is the change which is happening to your style of motor skills that is represented by hand. So this change has got 3H dimensions, which is something related to head, hand, and heart. And Bloom's taxonomy classification of how change is happening in this 3H from when it moves from simple to complex. Probably this is that gentleman, Benjamin Bloom, smiling at you. You can just give him a smile back. I had just showed it because we were talking about Benjamin Bloom, and if somebody asks who is this gentleman, you should be able to identify who he is. Our Benjamin Bloom, and he is the person who has brought this. Actually, Bloom's taxonomy has come first, and it is his concepts that are on what outcome-based education should follow like. You can just read the first statement which Bloom has already said. What any person in this world can learn. Learn means bring about change. What any person in this world can learn, almost, I repeat, almost in the sense the person without, who is there without some severe challenges or something like that. Almost all persons can learn, and there is an if clause. If provided with appropriate prior and current condition of learning. So this is something very important. Suppose if you are going to teach a topic, that topic will be a continuation of something prerequisite. And we may be complaining that the students are not fairly progressing in what we are teaching. The most factor that we could identify is that it is because they don't have that much of prerequisite. So change, the learning is something that should happen in a continuum. And how can we maintain this continuum, the prior and current condition? Here, Bloom's taxonomy will give you a guiding light in order to connect the prerequisite to the current learning. Because the learning is something that is just going through a roadmap of simple to complex. So that is why we are categorizing or making a taxonomy of this roadmap into different levels. So if you want to teach the students at a higher level, the lower level is a mandatory, and this gives you clarity on what should be the level of lower level that is mandatory in order to continue with the current higher level. So that is something very important. And you can continue reading. Bloom's taxonomy is a set of, what is the three all about? Three hierarchical models, because the change can happen in both the what you could say in which you think. That change that can in which you think means that which is regulated by intellectual activities. The change can happen in how you feel, emotions, attitude, and the change can happen in the psychomotor domain. So the Bloom's taxonomy gives a classification for these three. So this one, intellectual ability, is something related to your cognitive domain. That is a technical term for that. The change in feeling, emotions, and attitude could be classified as affective domain. And the change in the proficiency in doing physical and motor skills could be classified into what you could say more psychomotor domain. So these are the three domains where the change is happening in the individual. And when we are framing the curriculum, we are just structurizing what should be the knowledge part that should be accommodated into the curriculum. And this affective and psychomotor domain, what happens is that they are integrated into the curriculum as hidden curriculums. So here in this segment, we will be capitalizing on what the cognitive domain, because the cognitive domain is something which is related with the knowledge stuff. The affective domain is something is related to the value stuff. And the psychomotor domain is something which is related to the skill stuff. So we are working with the knowledge stuff, and the other things will be embedded. When we're teaching a topic, we will be setting what is the attitude that the student should bring about. So that will be embedded through these activities. So here we will be capitalizing on the intellectual domain. So the Bloom's taxonomy framework is the basis of designing a curriculum in selection of teaching methodology and designing appropriate exam system. This is what the introductory remark I have said. So Bloom's taxonomy will be guiding you through what is this? Designing curriculum, formulation of curriculum, selection of teaching method. You are interacting with the teaching students and designing appropriate exams, that is assessment. So in all these three phases, taxonomy is something that lead you in the right way. And here we go with the cognitive domain. And you could say that there is two arrows which is going from bottom to top. What is it all about? Here it is going from simple to complex and concrete to abstract. And this is an analog of how learning happens. Learning will progress from simple to complex or from concrete to abstract. And the roadmap between simple to complex or concrete to abstract is being classified into different levels on the basis of its complexity and the challenge that situation brings in the learner. And Bloom's taxonomy is all about this. And I don't think I need to say what are these levels, because this first level of learning, this is the basic level. The learning begins from this level. And it will go to a higher level of understanding, further to an application, analysis, evaluating, and creating. This is how learning should happen in the intellectual domain or the cognitive domain. But some deliberations on these domains will make the things more clear. Because what is happening, really happening in remembering this first level of remembering? When I say, I remember, what does it mean? So remembering is a memory level of learning. When a student remember, what can you expect from the student? It is not needed that he know the meaning of what he have kept it in the memory. He will recall it. That is memory. Recalling something that you have already seen or heard or something like that. You are trying to recollect or recall. This is the specification you can expect at this level. But the stuff that enters into your brain through your senses will not remain always in that particular state of memory. You will put some intellectual thoughts into this process so that this memory level of learning will be elevated to understanding. You will try to understand the meaning of what you have remembered. That is how learning is happening. This is even before years before Bloom's taxonomy in our traditional system at the Gurukula system. Happening is that the students we can call as Shishya, they will be hearing to Guru, and Guru will be reciting verses in Sanskrit. And first thing that they try to make is that they try to keep it in memory. Sravana, by hearing, they'll try to keep it in memory. And after that, they will try to think about what is kept in memory, so that those thought that is kept in memory, it will be elevated to an understanding level through manana. So through Sravana, Manana, and Nidhyasana, the learning will be elevated from basic memory level to an application level. That was there that is our Indian knowledge system. It is there, equivalent. And Benjamin Bloom has put it in a little more technical way. So what is happening here is understanding through the intellectual process. The student try to understand the concept. And about 80% of our classroom activities rely on making the student understand some concepts related to the topic that you're teaching. So you are taking the students only to this level. That is, they understood some facts, they understood some concepts, they understood some procedures. You're explaining, the student gets the idea. So conceptual learning, that means you are taking the students to this. And what is the next level? That is application. Application means taking that particular knowledge the concepts. It can be concepts. It can be some fundamental laws, or it can be some theory to some area where you can apply it. So that is the next level of learning, application. So application is transferring your knowledge or the concept that you have understood, meaningfully learned, into some practical situations whereby you are solving it. So it is better to say that transferring the knowledge to some unfamiliar situation, then only apply. If the situation is familiar, you are not, it is not an application. It is just, it is application, but you are mechanically doing it. So application always want to take your learning to some unfamiliar situations where you are able to solve the problems. Now we are talking about not a conceptual level learning. We want the students to apply it. That is authentic. Authentic learning should happen only when you're taking the learning to that level. And authentic assessment is that you are giving a use case or scenario and assessing the students to what extent that they are able to perform that. And going further, more analysis. When I say about analysis often include breaking down a complex situations into different components, and then identifying what is happening. That is analysis. So analysis, suppose if you want to teach the students about democracy, obviously you can analyze what has been happening in a democratic system of government, isn't it? What exactly the principles of democracy, isn't it? What are the basic principles of democracy? So equality, liberty, fraternity, justice, what does it imply? What is freedom? So you are analyzing the different principles separately. And if you want to further make an analysis, you can analyze between two systems, isn't it? Two countries who are adopting democracies, you can compare. Suppose if you are asked to analyze the performance of a mobile phone, there you are, that is breaking it into different components in the sense, okay, what is the brand value? Okay, what is the cost factor? What is the battery life? So the different components, you are further doing it in that way. So applying that knowledge to these components and kind of making a connection between them. Actually, that is analysis. And evaluating means going something beyond analysis. Suppose if you are given an opportunity to judge a dance form, what really happens? You will be judging all the participants with respect to different criteria, with respect to first criteria. So you are breaking the entire dance forms into different criteria, and you are analyzing the performance on the basis of this criteria. Okay, it can be about the way in which they are presenting it, maybe the dress, or what is the background music, whether it is recorded or live, and how graceful their steps are, like that. You can whether it is going in the lines of the classical dance pattern, to what extent that his steps are in sync with. Likewise, you can set some criteria. So considering you are not, so you are applying the knowledge, your knowledge to all these criteria, like what should be the traditional dress forms, which has given the right, which has come in the right costumes, which has taken a graceful gestures, which has there is a sync between the song and what they are trying to present, whether they can express that feelings of or the message of the dances to the audience in the right way. Likewise, we can make. So what is happening is that we are analyzing it and then passing out judgment on the basis of criteria. So that is evaluating. And the highest form is creating. Creating in the sense, obviously, as the word demands, is that you are putting something new. So, for example, I would just give you some example that suppose normally, if the student is doing research, I would say that the most important step in research is review of literature. Obviously, much concerned about review literature, and there is a practice that we just get the content, and without going into the review, just copy and paste and make the things fine. So actually, the research becomes more worthy and meaningful only through proper review. And what is actually happening in the review? You are analyzing what is happening, what has happened in the area of your research. Different studies you are analyzing, and you are identifying the gaps, and there you are evaluating what is the what are the gaps which is there in the area that you are doing the research. What is the necessity at this particular time? To what area is we have to make our knowledge system grow? So these types of analysis and evaluation will make you feel what is the shortages, what is the necessity which is of utmost priority in the area of your research, and that will boost your creative potentials in the right. So a thorough analysis will lead to a thorough evaluation, will lead to the felt necessity, and necessity is the mother of invention that will take you to creativity. So this is the way in which the knowledge should be reached. And when we go with the 4-year curriculum, obviously the initial foundation courses, more priority will be at this level. At this level, what level? Concept formation level. And at the fourth level, we are prioritizing on what? Research. We are prioritizing on capstone project. That is, we want to take the students to this height. They want to create something new and contribute to the bank of knowledge. So this is how the system should progress. So learning is a process engineered in such a way that one level is a prerequisite of other. That is, suppose if you want to apply your knowledge, it is mandatory that you should have an understanding of that. So understanding is a prerequisite for application. So if you are teaching students at this level, the student should have this prerequisite. That is why the Bloom has said that. That is, everybody can learn if there is a connection between the prior and current of learning. Suppose if you want to analyze a system, suppose if you are developed a program and the program has crashed and it is not working, if you want to analyze it, what you want to do? You have to break the entire program into different components and identify how each component is working in itself. If you want to identify, you have to apply the knowledge of the syntaxes and how it has been functioning of the different components, and try to bring about connections between them, and that will help you to identify, analyze, and identify what is the issue. So that is something which has been happening in analysis. So this is how the learner. So if you want to analyze it, that is, that particular system will be having different components. You have to apply your knowledge to these different components and try to bring about a connection between them. So when you're doing research, the first thing that you set is setting objective. So you will be having one objective, and this objective will be having different perspective. So you will be collecting information, data from different perspective. And what do? Analyzing means you will be working with that data from different perspective and try to find out the connection between them, and kind of bring out the connection between the different parameters, and then you will be answering that particular objective analysis. So analysis always demand breaking of a complex scenario into component parts, apply your knowledge with respect to the component parts, and try to find out the connections. So this is how the Bloom's taxonomy should progress. So in order to make it a little more clear, we will be going through each of these steps in different slides. I have just trisected the slides into 3. 1, these are some demonstrated skills that the student will show when he is at the basic level of learning, that means memory level. These are the verbs that will help you to frame questions at this level. And there are few questions which I have prepared. You can just see the first, we were talking about Bloom's taxonomy. I have taken one verb here, list, and I have framed a question. List the various domains in Bloom's taxonomy. We have very well communicated to you that the Bloom's taxonomy is built about 3 areas of change, and the technical name is cognitive, affective, and psychomotor. So, suppose if you want to answer this question, list, it only demand, this question only demand the ability of the student to memorize the technical term. And since this technical term is repeatedly discussed here, you will be able to write that answer. You'll be able to write that answer of that cognitive, psychomotor, and cognitive, affective, and psychomotor. And the student can get full credit. We have explained about cognitive domain. I didn't say that affective domain also will progress in such a way that from receiving, responding, valuing, organizing, characterizing. I didn't explain, but still you answered. I didn't say that this psychomotor domain will progress from like steps like imitation, manipulation, articulations like that. It will go up to naturalization. I didn't say anything, but still you answered. Why? Because this question is a question at the basic level which demand only the ability of the student to memorize the technical. Even if he is a PhD in Bloom's taxonomy, this question only want him to write the technical term for these topics. Likewise, define multiculturalism. Definition. That is, if I say define, what does it say? The student will be compelled to write some statement or definition which is given by some sociologists regarding multiculturalism. So in when we go for valuations, mostly when we go for the chief, we have to check that the other teachers, assistant examiners are valuing. And I am seeing the teachers deducting marks for using different words which is not there in that statement. That word may convey the same meaning. This is not what that person has said. Even if it is not put in inverted commas, this is a quote. It should be written in that way. That is wrong. Deducting marks. So they are taxing the students to memorize, cram what is said by someone as such. Maybe they would know the meaning, but still emphasizes on memorization. Okay, so suppose if I say, yeah, abbreviate, that means the students will write the full form of PhD. So if I say abbreviate, what the students will write what the abbreviation of that value-added tax. So here it is not necessary that they know what is this, what is GST, or what is VAT, and how to calibrate, how to calculate what are the different rates which has been needed for calculation of the. What is the difference between state GST and central GST? Like that, nothing is needed for writing the abbreviation. Only the memory is tested. So such type of questions is the basic level of learning. That is giving something for the students to memorize. Next is taking the students to the next level understanding. Here what happens is that they will put some intellectual process which will be happening in what he has heard, seen, or read, or whatever it may be. He has tried to put some intellectual and understands the implication, meaning or something like that. So what happens? A meaningful, the meaningful learning of whatever he has put in the memory is being made. So at this level, what you can expect from the students, they understand the information, they got the meaning. When they get the meaning, what happens? They are confident to express these things in their own words because they understood. So the learning goes to the next level. So these are the verbs that may help you to frame questions at this level. So these verbs may not be mutually exclusive. They are something that may help you. The same verb can be used at different levels. The only thing is that it is you who have to decide what cognitive challenge your question is posing on the learner. So the question before I ask you list, now I am asking to explain. Suppose if the student need to explain about cognitive domain, they should have understood that what is the mental process which has been happening at the cognitive domain. Then only they can explain it. So when if they explain it, what can you say? Okay, they understood the concept. So in our classes, we will be trying to state some laws and try to explain that laws so that they understand. And when the students are able to explain, that means they are. So the prior question was defined. Definition means I have restricted the students to some person's word. I have confined their answers to some person's opinion of words as if they have said. Now I am giving an open access to that particular concept. Is it a restate multiculturalism in your words? So they are expressing what is multiculturalism in their own words. That means they understood the concept. Isn't it? Suppose if I say that multiculturalism is just like a fruit salad where all the cultures coexist. It's very good visuals. They understood that what is the difference between fruit salad and a mixed fruit juice. Isn't it? Monoculturalism is just a mixed fruit juice. Everything is being combined together and made as a simple compound. And multiculturalism, many cultures are coexisting in the cream of cohesion. If India is a land of multicultural community where different ideologies, different race, the different religion coexisting in the cream of nationalism. If they're able to put it in that way, definitely they understood what is multicultural. So this cite examples, okay. So what happens? They understood. So that is what. So if I say about GST, isn't it? If you're asking the students what is GST, abbreviation of GST, they only give the full form. Suppose if I ask to summarize the process of computing, that means they understood. They understood. They expressed these are the procedures of calculating these the GST. That means they understood. And once we understood the concept, it becomes meaningful only when they transfer this knowledge to some unfamiliar to solve the problems. That is application. So application is not writing the same thing which someone has told you. The real application means is that you are using your knowledge to solve your problems. Applying. You are applying it. So that is application. Unfamiliar situation is something which is important. So what is happening here? Use the methods, concept, law, and theories. You have taken these things to an understanding level. In which situation? New, unfamiliar situation. Then it becomes application. So these are the verbs that may help you to formulate. All these are available at the LMS. Or it is, if you just surf the net, it will be available. So no issues. So the first question, we were discussing about Bloom's taxonomy in the last slide. For understanding, the students are able to explain. Not students, participants are able to explain it. Now, what is the question I have given here? Frame few questions related to each domain in your subject. What does it mean? I am asking the participants what? To apply what? the Bloom's taxonomy to your subject. So transferring the knowledge of Bloom's taxonomy to the subject that you are handling, and using that Bloom's taxonomy, I am asking you to formulate questions in your subject. So if I ask, okay, please formulate 2 application level questions from your subject. What is that? It is an application level question. To formulate 2 analytical questions from your subject. What is that? It is not an analytical question. It is an application level. Because you are applying the Bloom's taxonomy to your subject for formulating questions. If it is understanding level question, you can, okay, I want to give it for a basic level. So prepare some understanding level or prepare some evaluation level question. So likewise, we can prepare. So this is application. This is application, isn't it? So for if it is in the case of GST, you are giving them a scenario and you are asking them to calculate what? The GST. So what is really is happening? The students are transferring the knowledge of GST. They know, they have already summarized this is how the GST has to be calculated. So here post a scenario about the different services or product, whatever that the companies be handling, and the students get the entire data and they're calculating this tax GST by themselves by applying their knowledge into that scenario. So application. So application means taking your knowledge into a real world situations, apply some critical thinking, and you are making use of it. That is application. And what is analysis? Analysis, I would like to say that it is a higher end habit. That is, you are dealing with a complex situations. In analysis, you are confronting with a complex situations. So the complex situations will not be dealt as a whole. You will, for convenience, what we do is that we will divide it into homogeneous components and then apply our knowledge into these components and try to find out the relationship between them. So that is how analysis happens. So breaking a complex problem into parts, identifying the relationship and interactions between the different components, that is what is happening in analysis. So these are the verbs that you can utilize at this level. So we were detailing about Bloom's taxonomy, right? In the previous slide, I asked you to prepare questions, isn't it? 2 questions from understanding level from the subject. Now I didn't ask you to prepare question. I am giving you the question. I am giving you a set of questions, and what I ask is that, what is the Bloom's level for the first question? What is the Bloom's level for the second question? So I want to analyze each question, and I want you to identify which level this question is connected to Bloom's taxonomy. So here, or we know that obviously we all familiar with the SALT analysis. So what is happening in SALT analysis, or what is happening in all the majority of the experiments? What we are doing is that if it is SALT analysis, we will take a component of the salt and we will apply some test and write our observations. Take some more component, do another test. Likewise, you will be doing some a chain of tests. So you are breaking these salt components into different components and working out with different types of experiments. And after all these experiments, you'll be connecting the relations or the observations that you got with respect to the experiments, and you are identifying that with respect to these connecting these observations. This salt is such and such. So what is that? You are doing different types of tests. You are applying your knowledge. You are applying the knowledge of different types of tests into here, and then you are trying to connect them, and you are identifying which is the sort. So that is an analytical process. In a PhD program, objective is there. You want to answer the objective. You have to take different parameters separately, get the data, work with the data with respect to that parameter, take the different parameters, and after that, by the end of this, we'll be connecting all these analysis and give answer to that object. That is analysis. So analysis means breaking a system into its component. Breaking. So in here, giving questions in advance and asking which is the level of the question. You take the question, you will be identifying the cognitive challenge the question poses on the learner with respect to the 6 and which level question better addresses will be identified. So that is an analytical process. So this is analysis. So suppose if it is if you are dealing with the study of human body, if the human body for convenience, if you want to make a detailed analysis, you can split it into what? The skeletal system, muscular system, and nervous system, and identify what are the how a particular issue affect these systems, and try to bring about the connections between them and to make a better diagnosis and treatment. That is, we go with specializations. That is, every component will have got its own expertise, and we'll be trying how to identify. That is analysis. And evaluating, actually, analysis and evaluation comes very closer to each other. So evaluation means analyzing on the basis of some criteria and passing judgment. So evaluation becomes authentic only with the thorough analysis, isn't it? So analysis will lead to finding the value. So compare and discriminating between ideas, assess the values. So this is what. So we know that everyone is familiar with what NIRF rank. What is actually happening there? First, a national level analysis of the performance of each colleges on the basis of five criteria will be made, isn't it? Teaching, learning, researches, likewise this outcome like perceptions criteria will be there, and the performance of each colleges will be presenting their SSR with respect to different category, right? And they'll be analyzing the performance with respect to different criteria, and they'll be giving the weightages with respect to their performance, and finally they'll be consolidating the performance and they'll be ranking. So you can see that ranking includes what? The ranking includes what? They have to quantify their performance. How to quantify? They have to analyze their performance. So set criteria, analysis, and quantify the performance. And on the basis of this quantification, suppose if I am asking which is a better phone, I'm giving two types of phone, Samsung and iPhone, and I'm giving some criteria. Okay. So what we do is that we will be breaking these phones with respect to this criteria. Probably, if it is a cost criteria, you will take cost and then we'll be comparing it. Then second is if it is a battery life, okay, we'll take. So on the basis of radiations that it gives, likewise we can split up the sound quality, likewise. So we are analyzing it and then comparing, and we will be sending on the basis of this criteria, this is better than that. So evaluation always poses or necessitate a thorough analysis. So that is how evaluation should do. And finally, creating. So creating is to bring something new. I've just given two diagrams here. If you want to analyze what a system, we have to break it into different components. Suppose if it is a program, isn't it? A computer program, you can just identify the different components with respect to these programs, and then you apply your knowledge with respect to these components and identify how well it is been connected. There you will identify which component is having the issue. That is how you're bug fixing it. So that is an analytical area, isn't it? And for Create level means you have identified some gaps or some necessity that need to be need to be catered, and on the basis of that, you will be synthesizing your expertise with respect to that particular necessity, and you'll be developing something new. This is how creating happens. So if you want to build a new model, first thing is that you have to identify what is the lacking element in that particular area, and you'll be putting or pulling your ideas and prerequisites into that and find solutions. That is how research happens. So in an examination system, up to an analytical and even to some extent evaluation questions could be included. But we want to test the students how well they can contribute to the that could be done through projects and assignment. That is why we are giving projects, researches. That is something very important because we want our system to keep on moving, solving the problems, going to the higher and higher dimensions. So that is possible only through researches. So what happens is that our higher education system should not pull the students into the first two levels of just communicating the ideas, the conceptual knowledge. We want them to go higher into the application, analysis, and even higher level of research, scientists like that. So that is how it should grow. So here in the previous evaluation question, I asked you to evaluate about Bloom's taxonomy. So if you want to evaluate about the performance of Bloom's taxonomy, what is the prerequisites? You should know what is Bloom's taxonomy. You should understand how Bloom's taxonomy is working. You want to apply the Bloom's taxonomy in different use cases and scenarios, and you have to analyze it, how it is working, and only on the basis of analysis you will be able to give a remark. If you say that, okay, your Bloom's taxonomy, everything is good, but it is not apt for my syllabus or my scenarios. That is, my question was, do you think that you could prepare questions of all levels of Bloom's taxonomy subject? So you say that, so your Bloom's taxonomy is not, it may be good for other subjects, for my subject it's not working well. That means you have identified a gap or shortcomings. So what is the next? You have to work on it to identify a new model to answer your questions. See, you know, to calculate both this VAT and GST, isn't it? So if I want to evaluate which tax, GST or VAT, you believe is better, both of them will have got its own positives and negatives. So when you have studied the GST and VAT thoroughly, and you are able to apply it in different scenarios and in different use cases, you try to analyze it. And on the basis of only when you analyze it, you will be able to identify what are the merits and demerits. So now you identified what are the merits and demerits. So what is the next step? Next step, if it is regarding the GST of VAT, you are going to a research level to develop a new taxation model that incorporates the strength of both GST and VAT, and that eliminates both the demerits. So this is how the research, they identified the gaps. These are the demerits and limitations of these taxation systems. So incorporating the positives, you are building up a new. So that is how the research creation should happen through thorough evaluations. So is it possible to put an evaluation question, not evaluation, a create level question for our exam? No, it is not practically possible, because to create something, you cannot set a benchmark, or you cannot set a value or scheme of evaluations or something like that. So that is why you are taking it to as a project for the students, so that they will be able to work on it. They have to present it. They have to answer all the questions. And if they have given successful justification, you will approve that project as something that could be adopted. So that is a create level thing. And the problem is that this is something what is needed. But the problem is that if you are giving answer to an analytical question or an evaluation question in advance and ask the students to learn it and ask the same question, then definitely you are killing that question. Each question should trigger up the cognitive potentials of the students, but you are answering that question, giving it to the students like this is the evaluation points you have to write if such a question comes. That is the curse of our system. So you're killing that system. It will be just like if I say that I am going to give a surprise test tomorrow. I am going to give a surprise test tomorrow. You will think that I've gone out of. Because what is the surprise in that? That tomorrow the test will happen just like that. If you're giving an evaluation level question priorly to the student to learn and then asking the same thing, it is not an evaluation. It's just by hurting an understanding of something that you have evaluated, they are competent. So these questions, when it comes to the higher order, you have to give them an opportunity to think of their own and express. Then only they can develop their creative potentials and they can be productive. Otherwise, they will be confused graduates when they pass out of the streams. So now we know that according to new educational policies, all the educational systems are moving towards autonomy. So you have got the freedom to identify what percentage of your question should be from the different levels. So you can have policies. So that do not mean that totally ignoring the lower order. The lower order means up to the 3 levels could be considered as the lower order thinking skills. And above that, analytical, research, all these things are higher orders. So lower order thinking skills should be there to about 40 to 50%, and higher order also could be included considering the possibility of the paper that you are handling. So this is how the things have to look. So this is nothing but as feedback that I could get from you. So suppose if I'm putting that first level, remembering level as K1, understanding level as K2, application level as K3, analysis K4, evaluation K5, and what is next? Creation K6. What level you can give for this one? What level you can give for this one? That is on the basis of I want not the level of the question, what cognitive challenge this question will bring on the learner. You can put it in chat. The student learns from notes. You are giving notes. The answer to the question, okay, question seems to be very glorified. Analyze the motives of the speech of Mark Antony. Yeah, I came to Paris. He said, okay, praise. So what is the motive? Okay. And this guy takes his notes and write it in very beautiful way. He puts some contributions and he writes this. So what will be the cognitive challenge? Not the question level challenge. The question level challenge, it is the cognitive challenge this scenario poses on the student. Put it in chat. I was just checking. Yeah, some questions, some answers are coming. Remembering level 1, level 4, some answers are coming like this. Some answers are coming like this. So actually, the question is okay, but I told that what is the cognitive challenge this question bring in the learner? You are giving everything in advance. So he is not thinking and evaluating. He is just memorizing what the teacher has told. And there is a sentence, he answer it perfectly in his own words, something like that. So he understood something. So it can come up to a maximum of K2 level. K2 level, isn't it? So though this is something that happens, we are giving in advance. So we want the students to analyze, but the teachers are analyzing and giving it to the students. Find the volume of the cube when one of the side is known. I've just given a simple mathematics because this is something common. Different domains and disciplines are here. So volume means just side into side into side. And I'm just giving, okay, the side is 10 meters. What is the volume? The student calculates it and says that, okay, the volume is 1000 cubic centimeters or what, cubic units. Isn't it? Here they write the formula, calculate and says. So what is the level? Everybody is telling that level 3, level 3, level 3, level 3, level 3, level 3, level 3. So when you say a problem is appearing, we will be tempting that it is application level. So if you're remembering what I've said for the application, is that application comes when you transfer your learning to some unfamiliar situation. Here you know the formula S into S into S. Instead of writing S side, you are putting its value 10 into 10 into 10 and say 1000. What is unfamiliar situations there? So this is just an understanding or even a remembering. You remember the formula, instead of side, he puts the side. This becomes an application level question if you are putting a scenario that is water is flowing into a cubical tank. The water is flowing into a cubical tank, isn't it? Which is 10 meters. So length, breadth, and height will be 10 at a rate of so much cubic in 1 minute. What time it will take? So that may appear to be a scenario based, unfamiliar. So he had to apply his learning of what will be the volume that is to be filled by this one. So he applied his learning, and then every minute how much volume is being filled. So some mathematical concepts has been applied and calculated. So this is what application. So this is just what you could say, memorizing the formula, substituting the value. Okay, the student is asked to conduct an experiment. Okay, and result. Okay, if it is a salt analysis of what I've said, obviously what they have to do, take the observations, and on the basis of these observations, they have to make some analysis, and they have to identify it. So obviously, what is happening here? I think okay, here the answers are coming. Okay, the answer is been coming. So it is, we could say that it is an analytical level. Debate the pros and cons of banking. Debate pros and cons, merits and demerits. So for that, you should know what is banking and all these things. It's used in different scenarios. You will be identifying. So what is that? Yeah, you are evaluating. If you want to answer, you got to evaluate it. What is the positives and what is the negative? So all these are questions. And match the following: invention and inventors. Invention and inventors. Different inventions and inventors. Matching, just matching. Books and authors. Isn't it? Macbeth and author. Yeah, it is just a remembering level. Remembering level. Isn't it? All the GK questions that we are giving to the students is just a remembering. Isn't it? Who is the author of Macbeth? Even without knowing, reading the plot or theme of the Shakespearean play Macbeth, they will be able to memorize that this is written by Shakespeare. So that is memorizing it, matching, even without knowing what is that experiment, what is that included in experiment. They can, who is connected with relativity, or likewise, we will be able to connect it. So even without knowing what is the experiment and what it has to all about, they will be able to answer. It is just remembering. That is what list the domains. Even without knowing the what is happening in the domain, you could recollect the technical term. Okay, this this is straightforward. So there is no need to say that it is obviously create level, because you have to create a new model. So this is what what we would like to say. And there is one task related to this scenario. So this will be available in your learning management system. You can download it. How to download everything will be given there. The video is there for the standard SOP, the standard operation procedure is there. So you can just go through that and you can answer this. So what is all about is that we want to just identify what is the quality of the question paper that you are getting from the university. Okay, so you can identify any of the subject that you are teaching, get a question paper on that subject, and the question paper will be having different questions. Now, I presume that you are in a level to analyze. By reading at the question, you will be able to analyze what is the cognitive challenge that question brings about in the learner. Okay, suppose if the first question is define something, okay, then the first question, it is from, if it is a part, you can put, it is a drop down is there. If it is remembering, okay, you can put remembering. And what is the marks that you have to enter. If the second question is also from a part, and here the question is not some defined, if it is to summarize or explain something, okay, obviously it is understanding level. So you can take it as understanding and so reading the question, your duty is to identify what is the Bloom's level of that particular question. So you can enter the section, the questions, and the respective marks. And here you don't have to do anything. It is an automated sheet. So here you can enter the program name and the course name, the program name. So maybe it is BCO, and this course name can be the management, year and semester you can put. And what here suggests is that what is the percentage of questions from analytical level? What is the percentage of questions from understanding level? You will be getting an idea. Both the number of questions and the percentage of questions could be identified from this table as well as from here. And here, how many questions are from higher order and lower order is directly, you'll be getting it from here. So if you are putting this into this understanding, if it is putting into evaluation level, see, this changes, it comes to an higher order question. So everything is dynamic here. And on the basis of this, what can you say about this question paper? Is it a good question paper? If majority of the question is from remembering and understanding level, obviously that is not something we need from a higher order from a collegiate level, especially at a intermediate level or at a higher order. So what is your opinion that you have to put? So it is analyzing. You are analyzing the question paper here, and you are writing your observations here. So analyzing and an evaluation level task on Bloom's taxonomy. Complete it and you can submit it in your notes. So this is what we have for today, and we have taken some 10 to 15 minutes more because I've just tried to deliberate it in a very simple sense. So we can conclude it for now, and I'm handing it to the moderator for any questions to be taken. If you have any queries, the platform is open.
Thank you, Sunil Jobs, sir, for the wonderful session on Bloom's taxonomy and learning domains. Now, if you have any questions, you can quickly put it in the chat and we can take it. Otherwise, we'll end the session for today. Please note, tomorrow we have the session on architecture of OBE and design of outcomes. This will be again taken by Dr. Sunil Jobs, sir.
So if you have further queries when you go through your LMS, there are forum which has been actively running. You can post your queries there. So everybody will be getting an opportunity to answer that. We will be also visiting that forum. So we will be also commenting on that. So it's a platform for collaboration. You can post your questions there.
Those who have made the payment will get the LMS link in your email box. It will come in your email.
So I
The
presume
details
that there is no much queries are there. So let
Yes.
us conclude the section. So thank you and have a pleasant evening.
Thank you very much, Dr. Sunil Jobsa. I think we will end the session for today. Tomorrow we'll have the session on architecture of OB and design of outcomes. Okay, if you have made the payment and send the WhatsApp proof for those people who have still to get the LMS, you can. I'll put a WhatsApp number here. You can call that number or the two numbers that is there in the chat. You can call them for support. Thank you, everybody. Please join in tomorrow at 7 p.m. itself. Thank you, everyone, for attending this session. We will see you tomorrow at 7 p.m. Thank you and have a pleasant evening.